So now that we have seen how to open a text file and how to use fget string or fget_s to read a line of text, and then how to wrap fget_s in a while loop so we can read all of the lines of text in a file, I think the next thing I want to do is I want to store the information from a line of text. I want to break it up into the 5 fields. So if we take a look at the first line of the Wells Fargo data file, we remember that we have a date field. So I want to get the date out and store it. We have an amount field. We have this star field. We have, if you'll recall, the fourth field is the check number field. So it's empty, except that it's got 2 double quotes in there. But it's empty. There's nothing inside the double quotes unless it was an actual check number that created the transaction. And then we have the description, the big long string text line. And so now I want to figure out how can I go about storing those together as a record. So I'll go into my fgetstring.c program and I will create a structure. This is another C keyword, and it's also a keyword in C++. And a structure lets you take simple variables and combine them together in a unit, what we call a record, so that you can store different types of data in the same variable. So I'll create a line here, and we introduce a struct with the name struct, and then we put a tag on it. That is not the variable name. That's a tag so that we can refer back to this particular struct to make many of them if we need to. Okay, so the first one was date, and I'm not gonna get into the date processing in this series of lectures. So I'm gonna make this a character field. So we'll store date as a character field. And gee, how long is my date? Well, let me count. So a date would be like this. Okay, and so that would be, I'm counting the digits and the slashes. So that's 2, 4, 8 digits and 2 slashes. That's 10. Plus we need an invisible null character, so that's 11. So I'm going to make the date field 11. Oops. Okay, because we're telling the C compiler how big is this thing, and then I'll put a little comment out here so we see it's month, day, and a 4-digit year, plus a null character, and that's where we get the 11. Okay, so here's the cool thing with a struct is now we can create something else, and check no. Now you see I'm not doing these in the same order that they appear in the file. I'm not sure why I'm doing them out of order, but I want to show you that you can. Okay, and the check number length, well, I guess I could go take a look. So if we say cat Wells Fargo data.csv and grep case insensitive for check, we get all the lines with check numbers, and we can see that some of these came up because you see checking here, but there's no check number. That's just because check was found in the description. We could ignore those, but I'm looking at the ones that have check numbers in the field, and it looks like they're all 4 numbers long plus an invisible null character. So I'm going to make check no 5 characters long, so I can store the check number, and so I can store the invisible null character that terminates that string since it's a character. Okay, and now I want to get another field. We'll do the description will be a character, and that's going to be really long. And So I had it for 200, so I'll go ahead and make it 200 here. So that's enough for 199 characters plus a null character. And then I want to do, let's say, the cleared flag. And you might be saying, what's the cleared flag? Well, the cleared flag is that little star field, because I went back and looked at my bank and figured out what it was. It's not important, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in here so we can store it so you can see how that works. And then we're going to create a double called amount. Now there's no numbers, there's no numeric encoding in the text file. The amounts are actually stored as character fields, but I'm going to show you how to convert those to doubles that you can then do math on, because that's where we're trying to get with these business applications. Okay. All right, so here I haven't created a variable yet. The variable name would come after the closing curly brace. So the struct syntax is you say struct and then you give it a tag name so you can refer to it later on in your code when you actually want to create a variable of that type. And so I'll go down here and insert a line, and now I'm going to declare a variable of struct Wells Fargo transaction, and I'll call it transaction. So this is just a single structure, so I can store one record of information at a time.